use your God power to get everything you ever wanted and live the life of your dreams. The Master's Course. Copyright 2010 by Richard Lee McKim Jr. All rights reserved. Let the quest for knowing begin. How to analyze situations vibrationally. Every situation and event has vibrational elements that have created it. If you can learn how to analyze situations vibrationally, you can be even more effective in creating your own. We start out with the understanding that nothing happens or can happen by accident. It is impossible. However, you could think that it was an accident or a coincidence or whatever, but in reality, it will always have a vibrational cause. I really want you to get a good understanding of how, in any given situation, many completely different results can be elicited from the elements of the given situation. Here are two different examples that will further illustrate this concept. Every element responds in its own way when being elicited by a frequency's request for resonance. In order to have a certain song from a band, you will have to have a frequency that resonated with each of the members of the band for it to elicit a certain and yet different response from each member of the band. If you were to elicit a certain drum beat from the drummer, and a certain guitar tune from the guitar player, and certain lyrics from the singer, you would have elicited a certain overall frequency known as a certain song. You could easily elicit 100 different songs or frequencies from the same group of bass elements, band members. However, the resonance of the song frequency must be exact and elicit the same results from the same group of elements every time. An example, let's say the frequency that elicits that special song is called Play Sweet Home Alabama. The frequency from that phrase will always elicit a certain drum beat from the drummer, a certain guitar frequency from the guitar player, and certain words from the singer at certain intervals. However, if you were to send out a different frequency that resonates with the band, like Play That Song Freebird, that would cause a different drum beat to be elicited from the drummer and would elicit a different response from the singer and the guitar player. So from the same group of bass elements of a given situation, you can elicit many different responses, all depending on the frequency that is eliciting a response from the situation. Different frequencies and meanings elicit different results. That certain frequency will always elicit a certain drum beat from the drummer. It wouldn't accidentally elicit a guitar tune from the drummer or a drum beat from the singer. Not that it couldn't, but it will elicit from each element of the situation exactly what is needed from that element in order to accomplish and have an overall resonant quality with the frequency that was eliciting the response in the first place. The frequency will elicit what it needs from each and every element of the situation in order to achieve resonance or likeness. That is a powerful understanding, because most people think that a given situation is fixed and that nothing can be done to change it. Every situation is fluid and always ready to respond to any change in meaning that is eliciting and requesting a different response from the situation. There are an infinite combination of possible results of any given situation or event that can be elicited. You can easily see this when you realize that all colors come from only three main colors in some combination. The main elements of any color in the universe are red, blue, and yellow. It doesn't matter what color you want. It will be created from these three base colors. It might be blue and yellow make green, or red and blue make purple, or some other combination that is not equal in parts. You might have just a drop of red and a huge amount of blue and a splash of yellow to create the color you want, or vice versa. The main thing that you need to know is that any color from millions and millions of possibilities can be created from just these three main elements. If you go to the paint store and ask for a certain color, you will elicit that color from all the possible colors that are available. It will be created by eliciting a certain response from red, and eliciting a response from blue, and eliciting a certain response from yellow, and finally by eliciting a certain response from the paint salesman. You could just as easily elicit any one color from the million that are possible. No one color is any more difficult to elicit than any other. The only thing that matters is the meaning of the eliciting frequency. The same is true of any situation and event in your reality. There are literally millions of possible combinations of different responses elicited from the different people, things, and even machines in the situation. How the situation unfolds for you all depends on your meaning of the situation. Your meaning will cause certain responses to be elicited from certain aspects of the situation and give you certain results. Like the band example above, certain kinds of elements will contribute or not contribute in their own special way, and like the paint example, there are literally millions of combinations of possible results from any given situation. Here is a true story. A girl that I know was on her way to school when a garden rake accidentally fell in the garage and scratched her new car. At first she was quite upset at what had just happened. However, she was one of those who say, there must be a good reason for everything. She stood around examining the scratch and finally decided that it was meant to be and that all is well. She was now a few minutes late to school, so she left knowing that she was going to arrive late. On her way, it was a huge accident where two cars crashed together, and there may have even been fatalities. The accident happened right in front of her where she could see it perfectly. Later she reflected that if she hadn't been delayed by the rake accidentally falling down and scratching her car, she would have been at the same place of the accident. It very well could have been her smashed up in the car. Her vibration of safety and good health elicited the rake falling, causing enough of a problem that it delayed her departure. The possible things that you could elicit are countless. A policeman may be racing up to catch up with you to give you a speeding ticket when he suddenly gets a flat tire and pulls over himself. No ticket. Now that you realize that situations aren't set in stone and unchangeable, let's look at some real-life situations and figure out just how the beneficial results were elicited. Let's start with the case in the video example, the case of the alligator skin boy we saw in Chapter 1. He had an incurable disease that somehow was cured. We also know that no one else was ever cured from this disease, at least that's what we were told in the video. Step number 1. Whose creation was it? So the first place that you will always start is by finding out whose reality was mainly affected. In this case, it was the boy. That means that he was the main creator of this event. A creator creates by using God power in assigning meaning, whether it is done intentionally or not. Step number 2. What was the meaning that was the basis of the creation? Since creation is done with meaning, he must have had a meaning that he could be cured. Otherwise, it would have never happened. For him to have a meaning that he could be cured, he must not have been told that it was incurable. This probably was because he was a boy and they didn't want to frighten him.
options. Now activating the next video play options. One moment please. Click on the green arrow to start watching the next video. Or, click on the red arrow to start watching the prior video. Or, click on the tan arrow to go to the main course menu and guide, with links to all course chapters, excerpts, and special reports. Up next, special video options. Click on your choice of course videos, menus, and excerpts. Now switching to the special video options menu and activating the video selection buttons. Click on your selection number to start watching the video. "15 seconds till we switch to the next page with the free download information. Pause the video now if you need more time to review the available selections." This is the end of this course video. Its video number is listed above. To watch the next video, simply click on the next video in number sequence. Thank you.